James, I love having you on the show, man. You are, in the top 50th percentile of anybody I've ever worked with on television,
Ooh,
man.
yes.
You know what I mean? You're in the top 50th percentile. You dress average.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You speak average. I mean, we can't sleep on you, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're a real good average person.
Gotta see me when the show down.
That's how I felt about those comments.
No doubt.
Like, Micah Parsons was trying to pay Brock Purdy a compliment, but don't say that Brock Purdy's top 15 as if it's a compliment. It's not.
Yeah.
It's only 30 starting quarterbacks in the league. Obviously, there are 32 teams, but usually 1 to 3 teams have a fringe starter. So I only consider there to be roughly 30 starting QBs in the league.
Yeah.
And you're saying he's top 15? Nah, if anything, keep his name out your mouth.
That's it.
It's not applicable. He hasn't started enough games for me to grade him. I'm not going to talk about him. But don't sit here and try to compliment him and say he's top 15 as if that's a compliment.
No doubt.
He's 7-0 as a starter. If you include playoffs, he is 9-1, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 8-1. And mind you, he's won every game that he has started and finished. If Brock Purdy walks onto the field and walks off of the field, when the clock reads 0, the Niners win.
Undefeated.
Undefeated. So top 15 was like repulsive to me. James, what you think?
I agree with you. I mean, it ain't never a compliment if somebody say I'm average. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm bowling. I don't care if I'm playing soft. A compliment saying somebody average, that ain't no compliment. That's like, hold on, bruh. So you saying all these other dudes is better than me? I agree with you. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, and this wasn't too nice, because this is just basically saying Brock Purdy's average, then just keep his name out your mouth. It is a small sample size. Has Brock Purdy played well?
Very.
Absolutely.
Very.
And it's a lot of those quarterbacks that's under those 15 that you can argue is better than Brock Purdy with what they've done in the National Football League. So for me, Micah, you calling him average, you saying you want to see how he play, if he down, or can he throw his team back in the game? That's really what he's trying to get to. But that ain't no compliment. That's shade on the low that you top 15, you know what I'm saying? You average dude, you know what I'm saying? And average ain't gonna beat us, what he's saying.
I'm not great at math, but how many teams are in the National Football League?
32.
What's half of that?
16.
So he's saying he's above average.
At a minimum.
I mean, I don't want to be technical, but like math. It seems like he said he's above average. And he didn't specify where in that top 15 he put him. I did a quick little list myself. I have him at about 13, which is well above average. So he's not a top 5. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Saying someone is 13th in the league is actually a massive compliment, considering the fact that Brock Purdy doesn't have a full resume to examine. He said he's above average. If we're just going to be literal and count the numbers, he said he's above average, right? I'm not, it is right.
Well, there's context.
No, the context is I'm right. It's 32 teams, and he said he's above average. So I understand what he's trying to say here. Micah is not actually throwing shade. He's saying he wants to see how he plays when they're playing from behind, which they won't be doing much this year, we imagine, because the defense is that good. And there is still stuff that we need to see from Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's performance on Sunday, I think, is widely going overlooked. It is very significant that Brock Purdy played the way that he did against the Steelers. While we don't know what the Steelers are going to be this year, we know they're well coached and they have a lot of good pieces on the field, particularly on the defensive side, which showed up on Sunday, right? It's not a small thing that he came in after that injury and this offseason and how the season ended for him last year and looked lockstep like he did at the end of the season before he got injured. It's a big deal. But he hasn't played an entire season of football yet. He's played 9 games. So really, for him to even say he's top 15 is shade to everybody else who has an actual resume, if you want to look at it that way. It's all a matter of perspective. But I don't think Micah's shading him at all.
Nah, Micah's not shading him. First of all, us Harrisburg guys, he's from Harrisburg. Sometimes we say things and we say what we feel. And he didn't really break it down, but he did say this. He said, we got to stop sleeping on Brock Purdy, right? As in, this dude's pretty good. And when he's saying sleeping on him, he is, last pick in the draft. Yeah. He was a rookie last year. He came back this year. You weren't expecting this much. And when you talk about top 15, it's like, if you tell me a quarterback, last pick in the draft, still young, now you go from being one of the guys to a top 15 dude, that's pretty good. And then when you look at Brock Purdy, I'm going to be honest about this thing, man. Brock Purdy right now, he's the second best quarterback in the NFC.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about no resumes, because if we do a resume, he won't be nowhere near that. Of
course.
Some of these guys throw for like Matthew Stafford throw for so many yards. We just talking about playing today, right now. You put him on the Cowboys offense, I'm nervous.
What?
Brock Purdy? I'm nervous.
What?
So despite how y'all feel about that, right now I got him the second best quarterback behind.
But then I'm confused though, 2-5.
Okay,
because
talk to me.
If Brock, in your mind, is the second best quarterback in the NFC, then how can Micah saying that he's top 15 not be an insult?
Well, hold up, top 15. You don't know where that might be. He said he's a 15 best quarterback. I know top 15. He might be.
I know it's
12,
not top 10.
13. I don't know.
I know it's not top 10.
Whatever it may be. That's his opinion. First of all,
of course.
My opinion is I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFC behind Jalen Hurts. But he's saying like, yo, he went from being undrafted to being a young quarterback undrafted. You gonna
Last pick in the draft.
Last pick in the draft. The way you're going to approach that game, the game plan is like, okay, listen, be safe.
Yep.
Like Zach Wilson. You would think that Zach Wilson would be like Purdy because of the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, safe, let the defense go out there and do everything. We're going to be safe with the offense. Nah. When you watch Brock Purdy against Steelers, they're like, look, hey, here's the offense. Do your thing. And he did his thing. We throwing it deep. We throwing short routes. We doing everything. He's scrambling. So my thing is this. I get what Micah was saying, and I just feel like he's basically giving him credit for being the last pick in the draft and being a top 15 quarterback.
And he's technically still a rookie.
And all these dudes making $100-something million and all that. He right there with them. Making $160 million, $130 million. He making what I'm making right now. I mean, he's top 15.
It's 32 quarterbacks. It's 32 running backs. Obviously, you can't go off receivers because 2 of them tried out there, 3 of them tried out there at a time. I'm talking to you, Acho, but I know Shady listen.
Always.
If somebody told Shady, you a top 15 running back in this league, that's disrespectful.
I'm not the last pick in the draft.
It don't matter. That's average.
Average.
However you want to slice it and dice it,
Listen, now
that's
you're making
average.
a turn on Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has played in 9 games in this league.
9.
9. If somebody told Shady that in his rookie year, 9 games
I'm excited.
His rookie year, Brock Purdy is technically still a rookie. He's played in 9 games. He hasn't even played in a full season.
Be literal, though. Be literal.
Yeah.
If 16 is average, he's not technically a rookie.
Wait, hold on. Watch this. What's the NFL? All these NFL players on this panel. What's the rule for rookies? What's the rule? What makes you not a rookie the next year? It ain't your second year.
Play 3 games.
Play what?
3 games.
In your second year.
I just told you, play 3 games.
No. Play 3 games in the second year.
In the second year.
You know these rules. You know the rules.
I'm not going to get lost.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not going to get lost now. A vested season is 3 games, so he's not a rookie because he's played 3 games in his first year, so he's on his second year.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to get
But
lost.
we
They know
know
what I'm talking
he
about.
hasn't played.
But he's not saying
enough
rookie
games to make up
quarterbacks,
for
though.
an entire. Yeah, but that's the point. The point is for him to put him up there that high already without him having the resume that he has shows the respect that he has for him because he's only played in 9 games. Whether he's technically a rookie or not, he hasn't played an entire NFL season worth of games yet.
Then then it's very simple for me. Just don't say nothing.
That's it.
Because my thought, though, Joy, is like, of the 9 games he's played, or the 8 games if you're talking regular season, 7 games if you're talking regular season, he hasn't lost. He set an NFL record 2 touchdown passes in every game that he's won to start your first 6 and 7 games. And he led his team to an NFC Championship game, of which he didn't finish, so he's also incomplete. So all I'm saying is, like, don't even talk about Purdy, because top 15 isn't a compliment. Now, if you want to say the context of being the last pick in the draft, forget context. He's in the league now.
But why would you not include context?
Because I remember my rookie year, you come back in the league and people talking about, where you get drafted. And everybody say, shut up. You ain't out of college no more. That's true. You in the league now. We all in the league. We all sitting at this desk. It don't matter where you went to school, where you went to school. We all sitting on speak now. So it's just kind of what it is.
So if Micah has him at 11 best quarterback or 12 best quarterback, is that good? I'm asking you guys.
A compliment would be he a top 10 quarterback.
But that would be a lie.
Answer the question.
How?
I mean, he got to have him in the top 10 if he's the second best quarterback in the NFC.
Hold on. I just want to ask the question.
Yes, sir.
That's like answers.
I apologize.
I know you guys love to be lawyers. I know that.
I apologize.
If Micah Parsons has him at number 11 or 12 best quarterback, is that good?
No.
That's bad?
Yeah, to me.
Shady, so you got him second best quarterback in the NFC, which means you have him top 10, correct?
We talking about Micah. We're not talking about Shady McCoy's.
But I'm just saying. You just said that he's the second best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah.
So that means you have him as a top 10 quarterback, right? So, Micah, if you think this dude can play, a compliment would be, hey, quit sleeping on Brock Purdy. He a top 10 quarterback. That's a compliment. A top 15, wherever you got him, he can have him at 15. We don't know. That's average.
But if he's 15, he's actually, again, technically above average because there's 32 teams in the league. But we're arguing semantics.
What about 11? What about 11, Joy?
I mean, I have him at 13.
He didn't say 11.
I have him at 13. But here's the question, really. Here's another question. We're doing questions today. Here's another question. If Brock Purdy played the next 3 games and looked just like a rookie, what would we say?
Ask these two.
What would we say?
I would say that he's average.
Exactly what Mike is saying.
Would it be the end of the world? Would everyone start pulling their eyeballs out of their heads because this is a guy that's been paid $160 million or we've committed 5 years to him? No!
They lose.
We would say he hasn't played a full NFL season, so maybe he's still making rookie-like mistakes, and no one would be shocked, right? Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that. I actually don't think he will.
Of course not.
But the fact that that is a factor in Brock Purdy's story, because he currently hasn't played 17 games in the league, and he was the last pick in the draft, and he is coming off of an injury last year, Micah Parsons saying he's top 15 is a wild compliment.
You use the hypothetical that hasn't happened to potentially pull Brock Purdy down. If he did that, I'm with you. He'd be average. If he had 3 bad games, now you look at his sample size, he would have played 12 games, 11 games, 3 of which would have been bad, 1 of which would have been hurt, 8 of which would have been good, average. But every game he has played has been
So he's going to play this way
good.
forever? He's never going to have a bad game
So
ever?
what about 11 though?
Bad
I'm serious about this one. What if he has been 11? Because like that is part of a top 15.
I think that is disrespectful. And the reason I think that's disrespectful is because I don't think there are 10 quarterbacks who could operate within the Niners offense like Brock Purdy does. I do not think there are 8 quarterbacks who could operate within the Niners offense like Brock Purdy does. I was thinking about this getting ready for the show. There are some, think about this, Tupac, rock with me for a second if you can. There are some great actors that are great in certain roles. They not a top 10 actor, but in that role, they was top 10.
So if you put Brock Purdy on the Bills, you put Brock Purdy on the Eagles, he's going to be as good as he was with the Niners.
No. Bingo. You're exactly right. And that's the point
So then
I'm
how
getting
is
to.
he above all of these other talented quarterbacks that you think you could put anywhere and they'd have success?
Because we're talking about Brock Purdy with the team he plays on. Everything you're saying is exactly right.
But there are players in the league that you could put on other teams, and we know they would be successful based off the talent and the resume that they have.
That's why they're ahead of Brock Purdy, in my opinion.
How many of them?
Can we, like, how about this? We got some time. Let's just start naming quarterbacks. Since you guys, can you two just start naming quarterbacks? Because you said 8, which was
correct.
Okay, so let's go through some of the names, and I'm gonna shut up and just let you do the names.
It's nuanced. It's nuanced because what I'm saying is.
I mean, you can argue a lot of them, though.
Yes,
right?
but
I got them right here. 1, Mahomes.
Of course.
Allen.
No.
Burrow.
Allen would not be as good with the 49ers as Brock Purdy is.
Let's just say who's better right now. This is getting crazy.
He would not, and you know that. You know that to be a
So what you're arguing, wait. So what you're
done.
saying is it's just Brock Purdy on the Niners. If you are only good within the system that you are on, are you actually as talented as quarterbacks that we know would be successful on multiple teams?
And that, I think, is a really good question.
Yeah, but that's what Micah's talking about. That's the point. The point is we think Brock Purdy is great with Kyle Shanahan because he has been great with Kyle Shanahan.
Correct.
He's played in 9 games. Brock Purdy has a lot more to do in the league, and we will see it. And I think Brock Purdy is great. I think he's proven he's capable of winning games, and I'm happy to watch the Niners this year. I think he's the starting quarterback, and I think he should be. But we're talking about talent and where you're placed, and Micah's talking about what we should fear in him. Him. You're talking about talent on one hand, and you want to have context there, and now you're removing the context on the other side.
It's the same. Well, it's the same thing that Micah actually did about Jalen Hurts, and it's the same thing we've collectively done about Jalen Hurts. Micah said last year, not my words, Micah's words in his interview.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts within that scheme. Yeah. Oh, it's everybody else. It's Sirianni's scheme. It's the same dilemma that he's doing. I think Jalen Hurts in the Eagles offense is an All-Pro. Yeah. He's proved it. I think Brock Purdy in the Niners offense is a Pro Bowler.
Can we not do this the scheme and all that? Because that's like a whole football dive. Let's just talk about as quarterbacks, right? There's a lot of running backs I thought they weren't that good. They were in good systems.
Yep.
Let's just talk about good quarterbacks. Yeah. Give me your list.
Here we go.
We
got Mahomes.
1.
We got Allen.
Can we get Josh Allen? Okay, this is crazy. That was wild.
We got Burrow.
That's 3.
We got Hurts.
4.
Rodgers hurt. We got Tua.
5.
Trevor Lawrence.
6.
Justin Herbert.
7.
Lamar Jackson.
8.
Dak Prescott. Jared Goff.
Oh, slow down. Wait, hold up.
I'm just naming the names. I'm not saying in my order. I'm just giving you the quarterbacks.
Are y'all taking Dak over Purdy right now?
I am. When you talk about no system and quarterback, I'm taking Dak.
Go ahead. Okay.
All right,
that's 9.
So Dak Prescott was at 10. All right, you got Russell Wilson at 11.
Jesus Christ.
Kirk Cousins at 12. Geno Smith 13.
Sean Watson.
Jared Goff. Brock Purdy 15. Now,
Goff might get him.
Let me just go behind Purdy, right? Because this is what they got the quarterbacks ranked. They got Purdy at 15. All right, average. Behind him is Derek Carr. I know 16's average. Derek Carr's behind him. Daniel Jones is behind him. Deshaun Watson's behind him. Matthew Stafford's behind him. Jimmy G's behind him. Kenny Pickett's behind him. Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, and the rookie.
And so on.
So the two I would think is Stafford's a good one.
Is he better than Deshaun?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. But I think Stafford's one that we got to think about. Okay. And then golf.
Golf.
Golf been solid. After them two, like, if we just talking about the play.
So we agree with Micah. He's a middle-of-the-pack quarterback.
Well, if I ask yourself, if you have him 11 or 12, like, is that not good for the last pick in the draft?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.